Hi, everybody. I'm Nicole,
And I'm Brittany.
and this is the 11-Minute Mile, episode number 2, which is making the move. We're just going to talk about our move to New York, what led us here, the struggles, and that's really it. Quick 11 minutes. Brittany, you want to start it off? Tell your story and how you ended up in this big city?
Yeah, I feel like this is one of my favorite stories because it's one of the most life-changing stories in my personal life. And I feel like anyone who moves here, it's the biggest change for them in their life. But I graduated from Florida State. I worked at home for 2 years and I just wasn't really happy doing what I was doing there. I felt like I needed a change and the opportunity kind of presented itself. A friend of mine that I did gymnastics with, Megan, I know you're listening, but
Hi, Meg.
she she messaged me and was like, you know what? Like my roommate's moving out. I need a roommate in New York City. And I was like, what? Like, okay, maybe I can make this work. And it was in July. I ended up moving to New York City in September 1st. So it was a quick turnaround. It was 1 month difference, but that was probably one of the biggest decisions. And I made it in 2 weeks. It's not really something that people typically do when they're making these really big life changing decisions. But I didn't have a job. I didn't really have anything lined up. I just had a place to live. And luckily, I didn't have to do any of the apartment search. And now working in real estate, I'm realizing how amazing that was and what a gift that
Yeah.
was. But yeah, so I made that move and I kind of led the path to see what was going to be my next steps. I knew I was going to work doing something. I
Hmm.
could dog walk, nanny, anything. But Megan was working at a gymnastics gym, the same gym that I met Nicole at. And I ended up
So
working there like
funny.
2 days later. Like 2 days after I moved here, I had a job working there. So that was kind of when I knew I was like, this is going to be good. I'll be fine. There's so many other things that I can do and that I'll be
Mhm.
able to do. Like, we're women of many talents. We can do many different things. So getting a job
Absolutely.
here, we can handle anything.
Easy.
Yeah. But Nicole, how was your move? Because it was kind of similar to that. It was
Very
kind of
similar.
spur of the moment.
Also, I apologize for the barking in the back, Fred. Hopefully no one heard that. Yeah, so our move was pretty similar. Once Chris and I graduated from college, we moved home to Cleveland and Buffalo for a year just to save some money. We said that we would have maybe $10,000 in our bank account and then we would make the move kind of thing. Well, I at least said that. He didn't really know I wanted to move to New York as quickly as I did, and I didn't either. But I was starting to get a little stir crazy in Buffalo, and after maybe eight to 10 months of living there, one day I just picked up the phone and told Chris, "Hey, I'm gonna move next week. I found a random roommate, not random. I kind of knew her from college, but not super super well. And if you want to move, you can join me. I already talked to her. She said she'd be totally fine with living with the three of us in a two-bedroom." And so the next week I moved and I was in New York, which was super scary. I think that the first month it's kind of a blur, you know. You kind of you make that big jump, that take that big leap of faith and you're not sure what's really going on. And then the second month felt a little lonely and then Chris finally got there. He quit his job in Cleveland and I was working at Anthropology just during holiday season at Rockefeller, which is so fun because I
Why
obviously
not?
love to shop. I get the nice discount. And he needed just something, some type of income because he didn't have anything lined up for him. And he's a busybody too, so he likes to work. And I told him, hey, you can come, you could stack some candles in the back or do whatever. You'll get paid and do it for a month while you're interviewing or something. And he came, he started working at Anthro, was there 3 weeks, and then he landed a job in medical sales. And here we are. We said that we would be in New York max 1 to 2 years. And now it is 7.5 years later. Um, I started working at the gymnastics gym with Brittany about, I think it was probably 3 months, 3 or 4 months after I moved to the city. I just wanted a little extra income because you need that extra cash. It's
Absolutely.
expensive to live here, and I still had my sales job that I'm in now, but I was also auditioning for acting and singing because that was the ultimate goal, which obviously that didn't all work out for me, but that's totally fine because my life led me into other things, which has been amazing. But that's pretty much my story. We're still here. We love New York. It's going to be so hard to leave one day if we ever do. Um,
If
if
if you ever
I
leave.
know it's so hard. I mean, you make so many friends that become family, and I don't know. The city is a different type of energy. You can't get it anywhere else. Am I right?
Can't get it any you're absolutely right, and you really can't get anywhere else, and I think what you were saying about living here 1 to 2 years, I said the exact same thing. I feel like nothing in life is permanent, so if you hated it, you could have left. Like, you are only signing 1-year lease, so it's at that with that mindset, it's
Temporary.
less scary. So, staying and then renewing your lease, and then renewing your lease, and you're like, "Wait a second, I kinda love it here. Should I buy?"
I can do this. I can do this. I know. Even this year, just contemplating buying, I was shocked because we never thought that. We never thought we would buy. Same with you guys. I mean,
Yeah,
you were looking to buy in Hoboken, and
we
during
loved it
COVID, you guys,
here.
yeah, you moved to Arizona and you thought you would permanently be in Arizona at one point, right?
Yeah, and we didn't think that we were ever gonna come back to the city, but here we are. The city is just filled with opportunities, and that's
Can't
what
get it
is
anywhere else.
so that's what the high comes from. It's just like the constant energy, the constant availability to do anything and any one thing you could ever want. It's just
Yeah.
there's always people doing fitness, there's always people, like, going out. Whatever you want, we have it.
And the people that you meet, like, it is endless. I always say it's so important anywhere you live, anywhere you go, networking is key because you don't know who you're going to meet. You don't know who you're talking to. Sometimes I go out to the bars and I'm singing. And this one time, I'm pretty sure I was at Brandy's on the Upper East Side and it was 2 a.m. And I left the bar after singing and it was Billy Joel's, their, not their producer because that they probably wouldn't be there, but
They
somebody.
might.
And they stopped me afterwards and they said they loved my voice and they would love to talk to me and we connected and obviously nothing ever happened from there, but my point is the people that you meet, it's insane. It's incredible.
The
But
opportunity could have been there.
it totally could have been there. Absolutely. I just think that it is so important to at least live somewhere that's scary for a year. You learn so much
Mhm.
and you grow so much, right?
Yeah.
Wouldn't you say?
You
It
the growth that you feel from that uneasiness and that kind of, like, scared feeling of putting yourself out there, that's what's transformative, and that is what makes you
absolutely.
a better person in general forever.
Yeah, and I think like our three takeaways because we can elaborate on them. I feel like we need a little more time on this.
Yeah.
Um just changing your mindset. It it is scary and it is hard to take that leap of faith, but if you just change your mindset and you have a positive outlook on what that move is going to do for you and tell yourself it is so temporary. Nothing is permanent.
Mhm.
You could go for a year, you could break your lease if you hate it, but it will change you and it'll change your life for the better.
Yeah, and I feel like that's kind of all 3 of our takeaways in one because the mindset that you have to make that change is the most essential part of it. Like, if you hate something, if you don't like your job, if you don't like where you're living, if you don't like your commute, you have to change that because as soon as you make that change, other things will come towards
Mhm.
you, other things will be brought to you, and it's the universe will bring things to you when you are in
Yeah.
that positive mindset. I'm a firm believer of that, and I know you are too.
Yeah, absolutely. And even my husband, him moving here was really hard for him. He never thought he'd be a city boy. New York was really big for him and he was nervous. Now he's the one that doesn't want to leave. Granted, I don't either, but he loves his job and it has been nothing but good to him. The city loves him back. But I feel like that's our main takeaways from this, right? What's our time
Yeah,
at, Britt?
it's at just about 10 minutes. We have 1 more minute.
That's perfect. Is there anything else that we left? I feel like we did pretty good this
I
round.
know. I think we
We got
did
it all
too.
in.
I feel like just New York City is the best in general. It's the best
It
move.
is. It is. And any major city is great. And any suburb is amazing too. It's just I think it is really important to choose one place that maybe I mean, of course, when you're young and when you can and when you don't have other commitments and you can make those changes and moves, choose somewhere. Do it for a year, challenge
Just
yourself.
do it.
To scare yourself
Grow.
is growth. Like that is the best thing you can do for yourself, for sure. But I think that's all we have for you today. 11 minutes goes
Yeah.
so fast.
So quick. I love it. But we are so happy. Thank you so much for listening. Again, tune in. We'll be back on Monday. Mondays and Thursdays are our days. But thank you so much for listening, and we will see you next time.
See you next time. Welcome to the 11-minute mile.